My name is Dennis Sherp. I'm the executive producer for the Civilization team.
My name is Edward Zhang, the senior game designer at Firaxis. I lead the economics team.
That is a mouthful. Player-driven narrative and game-driven narrative is something that is new to have a confluence on the Civilization VII. We've always had a player-driven narrative. We always want players telling their own story in their heads. But we have an entire narrative team this time that we did not have before, that's dropping storylets and little bits of narrative all around the world to make the world an even richer place than it was before. So when you find it like a goodie hut, it's going to tell you a little story about what happened there. And goodie huts are now not just little camps. They can be ruins. It can be a caravan that's lost. It can be a fighting pit. And it's going to give you a little bit of a snippet of what happened in the world there and the choice that you might need to make. And you get different rewards from it. You can get a whole migrant to bring them up to join your city. There's all kinds of different things living out in the world. So we've made the world a much richer place as a result. We also got narrative events that are tied to the specific civilizations and leaders that you're playing as well. So it really helps to drive home the player narrative that's already going on in your head. We just reinforce that because we always want the player to tell their own story. We're just feeding it.
That is a great question. One of the design goals of the age system is to keep all the civilizations' power relatively in check with each other within a certain age, right? That's what age system allowed us to do compared to previous titles where you can have a civilization that's super strong in the beginning but falls off, or you can have a late game civ that's super strong but very weak in the beginning. Now everybody within the same age is going to be around the same power level. They still have unique qualities. Some of them are good at economics, some of them are good at science, some are good at military. But on the power level scale, they're going to be pretty similar to each other. At least we like to think so. And part of the fun is that we want players to be able to find out all the broken combos, right? Maybe there's some hidden, very strong combos that we didn't think about. And that's part of the fun, right? We want players to fight them. We don't want the game to be perfectly balanced. And we want the player to be able to figure out those broken combos and tell us about it, post on social media. And I think the game is going to be pretty fun because of it.
That is something that is always the most exciting part of developing a Civilization game. Usually the entire first year of prototyping involves selecting all of the net representative that we would have in the game. And for Ed Beach especially, the creative director, he wanted there to be equal representation around the planet, not just in cultures, but in male, female. You wanted to dig deep into the history and to find additional leaders that haven't really been shown before, additional personalities that haven't been represented before. And that's why you see a lot more women in the game than you have before, really digging deep and finding more representative, because it can typically be a very male-dominated history. And so by expanding that outward to not just political leaders, but leaders in their fields, we suddenly have much more areas to harvest in terms of really awesome representation. So we have in-house historians, multiple that we haven't had before. You've only had one, and they help us really dig deep. We've got multiple experts all around the globe among all of our 2K local teams like 2K Asia, our QA teams. We've got a massive team here, Madrid, Chengdu, all giving feedback on the personalities and the civilizations that we've created in the game. And we've got cultural experts and academics that we actually consult with to make sure that what we're doing is handling the local representation of these personalities well. One of the things that happened in the past is when we don't represent a leader right, or we don't have them sound like what the local population even wants them to sound like, or the mannerisms are incorrect, they will let us know strongly. And so we always try to make sure ahead of time that the way that we're treating each of these is appropriate for every kind of work.
That's a great question.
There's a lot of community
There's a lot of community feedback. The two most prominent feedback we keep hearing over and over again is that once you pass a certain point in the game, there's really no point of playing anymore. You either already won the game or maybe you already lost. It's time to restart, right? And that alongside a late game is just so much more micromanagement than early game. You have a lot of units, a lot of buildings to go through, right? Those are the two elements we keep hearing over and over again. And we address this by introducing ages, right? Right now, your experience may be contained in one age, and then that age is going to be promised to be fun. There's not going to be a low point. There's not going to be a point where you get bored and drift away. because once that happens, it's going to throw a crisis at you, and then you got to age transition, you got to go into a brand new experience. We also removed a lot of the micro management, so like the removal of the builder, the removal of some of the cities turning into towns that they can autopilot, right? And all of the units can be packed into a commander, and you can move around as one. All these measures are designed to address the player feedback of too much micromanagement and late game being boring because already remote. Right.
Part of that has to do with breaking the wheel. Everybody knows Civ 6, Civ 5, Civ 4 like the back of their hands, and they can interchange them. Civ 4 to Civ 5, maybe it's a little bit bigger of a jump with removing the stack of do. But Civ 5 to Civ 6 was much more iterative. They're interchangeable in a lot of their game systems, and players really know how to play them. Civilization VII, because we broke the game into ages, we've changed the way that you approach the game, we've changed the strategies that you even have to use to play, while keeping the core game loop that is loyal to Civ. We've changed the long-term strategy, and we hope that's going to give players a fresh take. They're going to come at this, and they're not just going to go, okay, just going to do this, and win. You can't do that anymore. They know how to play Civ 6 extremely well. Civ 7 is going to require fresh eyes. If you're a new player, we require fresh eyes. Additionally, for a new player, we've done a huge amount of work on our Fituity system, the first-time user experience, the tutorial system, and the advisor system, to make sure that we're holding everybody's hands to learn these new systems. We cannot wait for you to try the game. If you're a Civilization 6 player, you've got a whole new experience waiting to try. And we're so happy with the amount of people around the world that are really just embracing the game and really enjoying the experience of trying different cultures and seeing what happens.
And Southeast Asia as a group is very prominent in Civ 7. We have experts, we have historians that specializes in Southeast Asia history. So I hope the fans know how important you guys are to us. So we hope you guys will enjoy our game.
You just have to watch the intro movie to know how important that is. So, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.